Galamsey, I know the region where they do. So I go jay my eye.
Yeah.
It's a very devastating conversation, and I also feel like this demonstration is a gateway for us to know that, you know what, the youth are angry but ready to take certain moves to make certain things happen. In the morning they were laughing, the online protesters, yes, and in the afternoon we show colors. Now tomorrow we're going to show more colors. Saturday we'll continue our Luther. Continue. And then the video would also come on. I mean, exciting times. I'm happy because the youth know that they have a voice and they're speaking out, and so I'm happy about that.
Interesting. Kofi?
Okay, that's great. I mean, they are doing I don't even want to say a good job or not. I don't know what to say about that, but I think people are in their right to always try to, you know, voice out whatever they think, you know, the leaders actually need to hear about. I do think that we can all agree, like I've continually said, that, you know, the Galamsey menace is something that affects everybody. You understand? The channel by which, you know, we also try to make our voices heard. You know, I believe that there are lots of channels, you understand, and they have chosen that they want to go on the protester route. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was asking the friend how I could convince someone out of the whole protest thing, because because I feel I have, over the years, I have not seen the results of some of these protests, you understand, and even from, you know, is it 1948 routes till now, you know, we do know, though the 1948 routes was, I think, the bed punks of our independence. You understand? People lost their lives. People were imprisoned. I mean, these are things that always come along with protests. And I feel this might sound unpatriotic at this point, but I don't think at this point Ghana is worth dying for. No, I don't think that the present Ghana we are in is worth dying for. I think Ghana at this point takes a lot from us, and it gives us very little back. I do believe that there is a lot that can be done. And when I actually had a conversation with the person, what the person said was that, it is okay to have a different perspective to it, but it is better. My point really was that, you know, I don't need to be a part of it for it to be a success. You understand? It will work or not work, whether or not I'm a part of it. I'm not, you know. So, the person was like, yeah, but it is better to build rather than to destroy. And I thought it was a good response, because, you know, sometimes you don't always have to believe in what everyone believes in. The cause I do believe in. I don't think I'm readily, you know, I'm ready to be on the streets at this point in time, front line, you know. I think there are other ways. This is also a means, this is also a way to get you know, my voice heard. So I do think that it is important that people have chosen to hit the streets. Those who want to hit the streets, you know, the only thing I will say is that, you know, they should approach things with a bit of caution, you know. So that is really it. And I do think that is the conversation that is happening online and, you know, in the media space, you know, which is actually going to continue for probably the past 3 days, for the next 3 days, you know. So it will be interesting to see this time. I was also mentioning that I'm yet to see them actually submit a petition to anyone in power. You know, it looks like for a long time it has been a lot of fanfare, honestly. Let's not even, it looks like, you understand, that there has been a lot of fanfare, but actually putting out a petition, I saw, is a letter by Ama Governor, I saw it online. It looked very impressive, kind of acting like, you know, the big sis, you know, and writing the letter and all of these things. It looks impressive. It looks impressive. It does look impressive, you know. But I do hope that what we are actually trying to achieve with this, we actually do achieve. I like the point that she made about, you know, how these things affect, you know, the actual mining community. But I still do believe that, you know, this whole Galamsey communication should go on very well, and people should not be poisoned to think that mining itself is what people are fighting against. No, because the narrative can easily be misconstrued, you understand, because to a certain extent it's looking like the fight is not against mining. I think it's the illegal mining, and the fact that that structure, the way it is not structured in the right way, not helps, it degrades the environment in a certain way. I think that is the main concern, and we need to really hammer on that. I think no matter what the difference is, whether political views or partisan views or personal views, I do think that we can all agree, even including those who are doing a lot of talking back, you know, we can all agree that Galamsey at this point is not benefiting Ghana in any way. You understand?
True. Yeah, but you know, my problem here is it has to do with the agent and also the environmental agents. All these people we are supposed to see them on board. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any of them.
This morning there was a video. I mean, I even watched the video before we started the show, where a lady was asked. I think she was posted to the Ashanti region. I may be right or wrong. She was talking about. She was asked about the Galamsey situation. She was like, she was sent there to work on land reforming. Why are you reforming a land when the land has not been destroyed? What are you talking about? What are you saying? You couldn't at least give a political answer. Let us all know. What are you saying? Sometimes you talk and you are saying, mine is to reform the land. There's a committee, But this committee, they are seated almost as and all these things are happening.
True.
You couldn't give a political answer. You are making all of us know that. What are you being controlled? What
that's me.
What to say?
That's what I'm going to say, because if we've not had agents coming out joining this protest and saying that, hey, we need to save our land, then it means that they are politically being influenced, or
a lot of people. Not just. But I'm saying this whole thing, it actually there is a cycle to it. The whole Galamsey thing, it benefits a lot of people who are influential, who have a certain leadership role, from the local level to the political level to the government level. There are people who are involved. Someone mentioned that an AK, like, you know, some of those guns that they use, it costs about 40,000. An ordinary person is not going to get a 40,000 cedis to own a gun. You understand? So these things are actually machinated by those who have the power, who have the money to actually control some of these things. So it makes it very difficult. You understand? Most of those who you see on the ground, they are the small fishes, really. The big fishes are those who are bankrolling. And to a certain extent, I mean, Ghana is not the only country with gold. South Africa has gold. You know, other countries have gold, but we do not see the degradation on this level. Why is it on this level in Ghana? It means that there's something that is going very wrong, and we need to check it. I mean, when we start hearing that they started mining gold in Ghana a long time ago, there's still gold in Ghana, and people are destroying the environment.
Before I was born, Galamsey was in the system. It has been in existence for a very long time. It has always been illegal. It means that already there are systems in place to make sure that it doesn't happen. Why are they not being enforced?
Because those who are supposed to enforce it
are the ones probably doing it.
They are the perpetrators. It benefits a lot of people, so it will be a very difficult fight, you know. But we hope. Charlie, me, I don't say we win any fight for Ghana here.
No, but
so me sometimes.
No, but what do you call it? Some time back, there was a demonstration where they were selling some parts of the Ghana land somewhere. I've forgotten the. And then they did the demonstration and they didn't sell it.
I think it has to do with Achimota Forest. Yes.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, some results.
I think Sergio was still willing part of Achimota Forest to.
True though.
Some of these things.
So we're praying. The whole point is they should be able to pen something down and present to the people, and also the people in power
should also give a response.
They should respond.
So first of all, the 3 days demonstration, quickly before we move on, the first day they're supposed to submit a petition to, I think, the Attorney General to release the arrested protesters.
Okay.
Now the second day they are sending to land in, is it land or something ministry to put a ban on
Galamsey.
Yes.
But that has been done before, though.
And then the third thing is the third day we're going to Parliament. Sending a petition. Yes. And then after that, whether they release our kings and queens, I call them that, kings and queens of our time, or not, there's going to be.
But to be honest, I do think that the people who are still being held in jail, is it jail that they call it?
Yes.
I do think that is very unfair. There is really nothing in there for them. I saw a post by Manasseh Azuri today concerning the situation, and it looked like you cannot really, you know, understand why people are being held in jail to this extent. Someone like Oliver Baker, who has been arrested for treasonable offenses before, you know, did not abscond. why would he be arrested for this type of
Gathering.
protest, and you
Yeah.
you think you abscond, so you keep him in jail? Most of the people there, they are not flight risks. There's actually, it looks like there is very little reason for them to be kept
in
there,
there.
but
I
they are
said
still being
this.
kept in
I
there.
said this, and
which
I think I want to.
I don't think is actually in the
Appropriate,
best
yeah.
light. It looks like government is trying to show a lot of power,
Yeah.
and very unlawfully. The GJA president came to, you know,
They are one.
yes, and I saw something online which I do think makes a lot of sense. You were mentioning something about some environmental person who was asked the
yeah.
question, and you know, it just brings to mind that the person actually said that this is what actually happens when leaders of institution are not appointed by government. You understand? That is when they can have, you know, an opinion by themselves. But lots of these institutions, they're actually government of appointees, so they need to do the bidding
Things that are going to
yes,
think of
exactly.
them.
You know,
Very true. It's very sad.
it's a very long conversation if you really want to go with
It's
it.
like
But
the whole show will be about it.
about balance,
Yeah.
which is not even on the bill.
On the bill.
see, viewers watching at home, anytime I have Naneke and Kofi Black right here, you know, what we give you content to. First time, we've not even delved into our conversation for today, but let's move straight into our trend segment. So welcome back. The conversation still starts, or let me say continues right here on Shobiz TV. To remind you, our social media platforms are active. There's Shobiz TV on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We have our website too, that's www.showbiztv.com. Our WhatsApp numbers are active. Join in the conversation. Let's make sure that we are, you know, our voice are going to be heard, because I believe we are the voice. The generation is now, so that nothing the way we talk, our people no go listen. They are actually going to listen to us. Now, let's start off with the whole DNA thing trending on social media. So, this guy was, we were told he's been taken to the the Pantai hospital, receiving treatment. I don't know, say the medication, then take give him. You get the whole thing. Where you finish, you start count online, they insult people, you do your thing, where you stand, they call some brand, say you don't want work plus them. You know, at this point, you know, the head there, what they happen. But viewers will be wondering what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Funny Face. So it says, Funny Face accuses Vanessa Nicole of infidelity. Claims a DNA test proves twin daughters aren't his. So after returning to social media following treatment for his mental health battled, comedian Funny Face has disclosed details about a DNA test involving his twin daughters, Ella and Bella. In a video shared on his Instagram page, he explained how his friend Sadat assisted him in acquiring hair samples from the children for the test. The comedians claim that he is not a father of his children, has prompted a range of responses from fans on social media, with many advising him to move on. In a video, Funny Face, who shared the children with Vanessa Nicole, expressed gratitude to his friend Sadat for helping him obtain the hair samples during a meeting with Vanessa at a hotel. Hey, why do you go take somebody who have go hotel? Vanessa himself too. She's another problem. They go meet Funny Face in party. It be hotel where they won't go meet the person. Already, we they hear one or two, they suspect things from there. They enter us.
Take your time.
So that, thank you for helping a brother out. Funny Face shared in the video. The comedian, who was recently discharged from Pantang Hospital after addressing mental health challenges, stated that the DNA test confirmed the children were not his. Funny Face, who turned 43 on October 1st, 2024, also made a public appeal to Telesol Ghana, requesting to be considered as a brand ambassador. Brother Jayagona Udino. He repeated his plea in the video, emphasizing his dedication to work and in financial difficulty. So he mentions the name of the brand. He says, "Let's do this. I swear I will work for you people like a goat." This is wordplay, he remarked with a touch of humor. So the video left many of Funny Face fans concerned about his mental health, with other offered advice and support in the comment section. This guy they play, he a joke. First off, I really don't know where to start from. We saw the whole breakdown and meltdown again. They took you to Pantan. And at the hospital, let me say, the doctors, or let me say the health workers, they're saying this guy is very safe to come out again on social media. That's my first question.
This is the thing about being held in a mental facility. So far as you are a full-blown adult, and I mean, this is just me assuming that you can function, you can't be held there more than 72 hours. I mean, he was there for 2 days, right?
Yeah, I'm really not certain.
Yeah, I think he was
days.
there for 2 days. I think so. 72 hours. After 72 hours, you can check yourself out. Check yourself out. I mean, that's what I have read. Whether true or not, I don't know. So maybe he checked himself out, whether good or bad. He's an adult. Maybe he checked himself out. We funny face. I said
we don't know where we start the head until
I don't know where you go start from and where you go end at.
Because this conversation has been going on over time. Right now, I think I even read on X, people are like, "Yeah, bro, we are tired. Yeah, bro," like, cause I believe a lot of people think this is not the time he's supposed to be on social media. I believe people think this is the time he will shut his phone off and then focus on himself and heal, because this is a broken man right there. Everything shows that this man has been broken, whether whatever he's saying is true or not. He has been broken.
But you talking about he shutting his phone, going off social media, does he have close relatives around, people who are taking care of him? That's the big question we should ask. I feel that's a big escape for him, coming on social media, venting, posting videos, hearing he's in the news. In a way, it makes him feel like, okay, yeah, they still recognize me. I'm the man. I'm who I think I am. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, what you're saying is true, but I also believe that he may be, people with mental health issues, brain problems, a lot of the times like to hallucinate, or let me say, think that hallucination is the wrong word. They live sometimes in the glory they used to live in. Maybe it seems that he's the man. Maybe he's not the man right now, but he's living off whatever he has, experienced over the years. That's why he's looking for partnership somewhere. That probably will boom him up again. But Funny Face's case is a crazy
it's a serious
experience.
It's a serious situation.
I think a few weeks back, before he was sent back into the mental health facility, I was in an Uber, and then the driver, they were playing Funny Face's song. The times where he was Funny Face, and then they were talking about Funny Face, and he was like, "Hey, Charlie, the woman spoiled this man." And I could sense the fear, like this whole thing, it has put fear in the Ghanaian man. Thinking, this girl has destroyed him, and then now there's DNA issues. There were times where Funny Face, they said he did a song over, a song for the lady. Talked about her everywhere. So now,
it's just all over the place.
It's all over. It's really, really scattered there.
I mean, you've not gone close to the DNA, so I'm not saying until you go there, we'll dissect, because I think the DNA has a lot of questions that we need to ask.
Sure. Okay.
But for Funny Face, probably he checked himself out from the mental facility. That he's fine, and then came on and took his phone and said, "Rah, let's go."
I am who I am. Kofi, when you start with this whole conversation,
I mean, behind the scenes, I was saying that this issue has been, it's been long. It's been a long thread of it. we've gone into it, come out of it, gone into it, come out of it. It looks like it's going to be a very much an unending journey with Funny Face, because every moment he's going to pick up his phone and say something outlandish, outrageous. The last time I saw a video of his, he was talking about Stonebwoy, and I don't know whether he saw that one.
Conversation, you know,
Charlie he's talking about Stonebwoy and Dr. Louisa, and Shatabando comes in somewhere, and you know all of these things. He has heard of Dr. Louisa's gist from KNUST. Charlie, all of these things where they talk for the matter inside, it was just all over the place. And I've heard so many things. Even just recently that he came out, like, it's like, is he on? Because I'm not on his page, so I don't know where when he actually does the recordings. I don't know whether they are live videos. I don't know what they are, but you know, you just see them scattered across, you know, the internet. But for me, I do think that a lot of the times the motivation for this is actually the level of clout that he gets from it. I do think that at this point in time, he does realize that he has fallen from grace. And he has complained that he's not getting gigs and money like he used to get.
But
so
how
he
do you
fails
want to get gigs when you keep
yes,
doing this?
So that is where I'm coming to. So I'm sure, I think today I saw that he posted his what do you call the infometrics, the analytics of, you know, his numbers and how, you know, the viewership of his page is going and all of these things. And I think the play there is that he's trying to get the internet money if the mainstream money is not coming. So I mean, as long as people are still interested in what he's doing, he's going to give you content. I think there's a level of you know, mental, you know, stuff in there somewhere, but I do think that there's also a certain level of consciousness with what he's doing. I do think that he has realized that people are very interested in this storyline, so he'll keep hitting on it till it becomes something, you understand? And then, so it's like actually a movie right now. So we are getting parts. Now we have got to the parts where DNA tests are out, and just look at the drama that is even involved in this whole DNA situation, where he says that a friend went to say, can't you just, I mean, this is a big issue at this point. You should be able to have a sit down with a woman and the family. If you want to do a DNA test, I don't think
you
it
need
should
to
be anything.
No, you need to get a sample.
At this point in time, you understand? There's nothing to sneak about. But look at the drama that is all around the whole situation. So I do think that yes, he's suffering from a certain level of, you know, mental stuff, because what he's doing is not normal. It's not normal. Yeah, it's not normal behavior of a person. He's out of the norm at this point. But there is also a certain motivation, which is the eyeballs he's getting for it. And maybe for him, he's looking at the consideration, the financial consideration that could come from that the streams and, you know, all of those things. I do think that is the real motivation in there to keep going on about this.
So I asked if he had been diagnosed. When, let's say, if we know his diagnosis, then we'll know that, oh, okay, Funny Face has bipolar. Maybe Funny Face has personality disorder. Maybe Funny Face has this. Then we'll know reasons why
he's acting the way
he keeps going on and off. Because if it's bipolar, we'll know that when it comes to bipolar, your emotions determine how you behave. 1 minute you're sad, the next minute you're hyper, and when you're hyper,
it's that too all over.
So knowing his diagnosis, and he needs family at this point.
At this point, that's the whole thing.
Most of the videos that I see that he's recorded, it looks like he is alone.
He's alone.
Yeah, it looks like with his cameraman. Sometimes, his cameraman, and he has a very big house and very big compound. And sometimes he comes to the middle of the compound to do all of those type of videos. I think at a certain point in time, he was with Don Little. Was it Don Little? They had an issue.
So he actually discovered Don Little.
Wow.
And he was managing him at the point. So there was that kind of friction where Don Little was like, he needed food. He actually didn't want to state the main reason why they fell off. He said that he was hungry. They were having a production. He told him he was angry. So, and Funny Face didn't give him anything. And if you're trying to tell me hungry, that word alone tells that he needed some, maybe he was getting money from him, or let me say, with the talent he's managing, he was getting that huge sum of money, but
he was not giving him.
He wasn't giving him.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to stay the whole thing. I think looking at the condition Funny Face finds himself in and all that, it's very
I mean, before he went back into the mental facility, there's this TikTok guy. I've forgotten his name, and it hurts me so bad because he deserves that accolade. He took a team went to Funny Face's house, cleaned his house spot.
Oh, wow.
You know, people with mental health, sometimes some of them are not able to pick after themselves.
Yeah.
And so they live in, excuse me, it's a disgusting, you know, environment. I'm not saying Funny Face is disgusting.
And some are actually clean too.
But yes,
Yeah,
some clean.
yeah.
Some of them
what's the name?
OCD. Some
OCD,
of
yeah.
them
Yeah.
their coping mechanism
Yeah.
is cleaning,
Yeah.
and others to
True.
So this guy picked a group of people. They went to Funny
went
Face's
there.
house, cleaned, painted, made him food, like even invited Asamoah before he
come
started
over,
even
yeah.
smoking his things on
air.
live. So at some point I said, oh,
Yeah, people.
Funny is getting the
some
support he
about that.
deserves.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine. But then I also think, as he said, I don't think he's doing it consciously. But you know, in a healing process, sometimes you feel like you're almost there. Then one day you wake up and you're back to square one.
Okay.
And I think it's part of the healing process. He just hasn't been able to grasp how to control it. And so he bursts out anytime,
yeah.
you know, it comes in.
Yeah, but that's what the trigger point really is the woman.
The trigger point is
Yeah,
the woman.
because
The
the
lady
trigger
touch
point-
more.
The trigger point is
So
the
she
woman
should go
because-
events then too. So
Yeah,
people they
because-
recognize that
See,
she's leveraging on this whole
This
thing.
girl, yes, she was smart about it.
Yeah.
The matter happened, you move go Kumasi, no, you started do
shoot
shit.
then things back to
She
back.
leveraged on it, and unfortunately, Funny is not seeing what's happening. He's just
him to move
he's
on
in
and
his
all
head
that.
over everything.
And she, you know, the sad part of this whole thing is, I don't know, but talking about she leveraging on the whole thing to be in the media space, to be in the news. Something happened. There was a program last Saturday in Kumasi where she was being introduced, and when she was introduced, the MC, actually, I wouldn't want to mention the guy's name. I texted him. I told him I was very disappointed with the approach he did. You called this girl, then you were making fun of the whole situation. And the girl, the Vanessa too felt like, okay, this was happening, and she was hailing to the whole thing. I'm like, has it got into that? And there's another young girl. She's a comic actor, very young.
Yeah.
She had an interview, and they asked her about this whole Funny Face issue, and the response the girl gave.
What was
I'm
her
like,
response?
okay, girl, who is managing this young talent?
Okay.
Will she come back and see the response she gave to
What
the
was her
answer?
response?
She went like, yeah, can't. It was actually in an Akan whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, can't Funny Face and so dear Wankawa Tomo.
Jesus.
Anka whiny, and I'm like, what is happening what is happening to media
This is
now?
what I think. Funny Face was the children's president.
Exactly.
Now, let's not lie, he has fallen off from there.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the disrespect is coming from the fact that he has allowed himself unconsciously, based on whatever condition that is happening to him, he has allowed himself. And then now everybody thinks they can misbehave around him.
Who would even allow their kids to come to you?
For me, I disagree with the unconscious thing. I do think that you can be mentally challenged in a certain way, but your actions you will be
know
held
what
for
you
your
have to-
actions.
True.
If you go away, you go hurt somebody right
That's
now.
why-
we will hold you to
No,
it.
but this is the thing. When he hits somebody right now, and then he goes through a mental, what do you call it?
Examination.
Examination.
He has gone
and
through so
he-
many mental
Exactly.
examinations,
They're not
and
going
he
to
has been
arraign him.
released. He has been released
Exactly.
to go home.
yeah.
I mean,
So it means that moving forward, they know that what is happening, it's not from him. And so whatever happens, either they're going to sentence him straight to an asylum, or they're going to bring him back home. They are never going to put him in prison.
for me, I do think that Funny Face, what he's doing, yes, there is a certain level of, there are levels of, mental ailments.
Yeah.
You understand? I do bipolar, for instance. You're not going to be in that bipolar zone for forever. You understand? We see what Abna Koko does.
Yeah.
Goes and comes. At this point, Funny Face seems to be, Charlie, it's a bit like he did on the other side,
side, yeah.
forever.
This may
That
be
is
the
what.
reason why. Maybe he's not taking his drugs.
The
Because
medication. Yeah.
maybe he's not taking
You
his
see
drugs.
that Naneka, not to cut you in,
Yeah.
with the drugs and the side effects that comes with it. I told you, I know someone who has this whole issue. At a point they feel very numb. They just want you be sleep. You are knocked off. And the guy I know, he doesn't want to be in that situation at
Yeah,
So
I
you rather
don't
not
want to
take
be
it.
vulnerable
Yeah,
here.
at all.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be vulnerable
Yeah,
here.
but I do think that to a certain level, people should hold Funny Face responsible for what he's doing. I don't think we should make excuses for him being unconscious of what he's doing. He is fully aware of what he is doing.
He may not.
And he is fully aware.
He
is carrying camera in front of him.
may
He's getting
not.
a certain
He
level
sang
of
the
clout
ring
for
light too.
for what he's doing. I'm not saying that there's no mental illness there, but I do think that see, when we're kids, where people that we used to call Bodam, you understand? And some of these were the slyest people sometimes you can ever meet. You understand? Some of them can use. They know that people think they are not correct, and they can use that to their advantage.
And that's possible. That's possible.
And they'll say a lot of things.
Yes, so they can be very manipulative with the way they.
Yeah.
So for me, I do think that yes, we can give him the grace for going through what is going, because not everyone can take certain things when life throws it at them. You understand? But we should hold him responsible. The first level of being able to come out of anything is to accept responsibility for what you are actually doing. So I do think that we shouldn't make excuses for him at all, and we should hold him responsible for what he's actually doing, not what he is going through. What he's going through is a different thing. Your response to what you are going through is also another situation altogether.
But what if he's not in control of his responses?
Well, how are you not in control of your responses?
This whole thing,
You can take a phone and you know that when you are recording the live video, we are all going to see it, and you are going to say
some particular captions. This guy, he know what he's doing.
Many things. I just want you to understand that I'm not saying we shouldn't give him grace. I do think that when people go through stuff, we should try to identify with them. But I do think that it is also important to tell people the truth, especially when they are messing up. You understand? You let them know that they are messing up. You don't make excuses for them. They should accept that responsibility. And then for me, that would rather help in the healing process. Because I do think that when people go for therapy, I think one of the things that they tell them is that they should be able to embrace their truth.
Yes.
You understand? So the truth is that he is being an irresponsible person. And he is conscious of the irresponsibility that, because I mean, he does it and then he comes back, he apologizes, he does this and that. Bro, look, I think recently was his birthday, right? I saw that Samwajan's brother went to him, gave him some gifts, Karina cakes and all of these things. And look at his response there. Is this not a person who is fully aware of himself?
But Kofi, don't you think he needs that kind of attention? So when anytime he gets to see these people around him, there's some sort of calm.
Yeah.
Do you get the whole thing? And he's not getting it. I think he's not getting the attention.
So you think he's craving attention?
Yes, definitely.
Obviously, every human being craves attention to a certain level. But what would you do for that attention? I don't think that 24/7 you expect, especially if since now you're not a family man like you used to be, you expect people to be around you 24/7. You understand? I don't think he expects that. But I do think that what he enjoys is being in the face of people. And he feels at this point in time, like I said, at this point, it's a movie, it's content.
Episode 24.
You understand?
Yeah.
I do think that when Funny Face came out, Funny Face was a huge thing.
Very big
with
thing,
the Choco
Choco
thing, and everyone, oh my god,
cow and
it became actually a street slang. Everybody was really messing with him. People were saying that he's not funny and he's funny, he's fun. And then I think he did the Night of 1,000 laughs. He killed it, totally killed it. And everyone has loved him since then. Children's president, and now it was actually a very smart thing to move into the children's president thing, especially when people started saying he wasn't funny and these things. Kids you can easily handle kids. But I do think that was there a first marriage? There was a first situation where I think we had some news. Now it's very blank on my mind, but we're hearing some impotent type of news.
That he's impotent. So when the twins came, it's like
so the twin thing became like the rubber stamp.
The whole thing.
I'm not impotent again.
You understand? And then now we are getting to hear that they're actually not his kids. It begs a lot of questions now.
That's why I said there are lots of questions to be asked about this whole DNA thing. If we're going to go into the DNA conversation, he came out and they said it's not his children. We haven't seen
the reports, right?
How did you come by the samples? Even if you want to take it to court, is it admissible in court? You see, some of these things, when it comes to DNA paternity conversation, that one too is a whole different game on its own. It saddens me that I'm a woman, and up to a point, I understand when women start to shy away from DNA, But then I also don't understand, because if you know that where this is going, I need the truth to come out.
Yeah.
Just allow it, so that everybody's conscious will breathe. Because right now, the whole paternity conversation, how many years have they been together? How many years have they been broken up? How many years have these kids been in the system? We heard some things. I don't know whether I'm even supposed to even say them on air. But if those things are true, he knew. Then it means he knew. And
As in with the open relation thing with other guys, yeah.
Then you knew.
Yeah, but now he has a case. So
What's your case?
He's going to use that. He's going to
the
use
DNA.
that. I mean, people can be aware of whatever, but if he come now, we won't chop the matter. He will use them.
No, but but can I go ahead and say?
Oh, let's see, because we're spilling everything out.
If let's say you met somebody and she's already 8 months pregnant, how is the child yours?
Yeah.
Why are you now claiming paternity when you know well that the woman you met her, she was 8 months pregnant?
Yeah.
Are you
if that is actually a fact?
If that's a fact, are you desperate to turn somebody's sperm into yours? It's not happening.
Yeah. But 8 months, yeah,
So
Charlie,
why are you
inside.
being delusional about it now?
No. Okay.
Coming to seek public acceptance now over the fact that you are not the father for these children. And then they called you an impotent man before. So is it that after when you know wanting to wooden your kata kata so an answer then?
But Nanukia,
It's a long issue.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a lot of questions.
Let's wrap it up with this whole thing. Having conversations, right? Because looking at this whole situation, we've not heard from Vanessa. She's not said anything, and I think her PR team is doing super amazing wherever they are. She's not responding to the whole saga happening.
She's going about her business,
doing the whole thing. But don't you think responsibly, or she being a woman, if you're saying you have your dignity, you have that respect, don't you think it's high time she has a conversation with Funny Face, maybe move in there with family, talk this whole issue, kill the fire, take my name out of your mouth, let's move on in life?
But I mean, I think Vanessa somehow came out when Funny Face asked for an apology from her family and made a statement that Funny Face needs to come and apologize to her family instead.
Yeah.
She threw a hand. He could have gone, because beyond everything, Funny Face was the one that sat online and insulted every member of the lady's family.
And I think at a point too, he got physical with Vanessa, hitting her, and she also posted on social media.
Every member of the lady's family. So you want the thing to be resolved, go and beg and sit down and resolve the issue.
But what is actually there to resolve? If the children are not yours,
Yes.
I mean,
just to
you don't.
The children are not yours again. So right now,
doesn't love
Wait,
you.
talk
Like
again.
what is really in there? If there should be anything in there, it should be the kids.
The kids.
You understand? Because I don't think this woman will be interested in getting Funny Face. I don't think.
No, I don't
the
know.
love has
No,
gone
no,
bad.
no,
But I
no.
do think that Funny Face will be interested in getting back with a woman. I mean, I
Yeah,
do think that
looks like
still
it.
he has still did there, because how he still they talk about the matter.
Really, at the first say you go kill him.
it will kill
You
you.
go end the show in life.
That'd be serious.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, Manus, how do you say that thing here?
Manu
Pardon me, you know,
Kokochia.
Charlie, but anything can happen.
Yeah,
Humans
yeah.
already, this guy
Yeah.
mentally is not stable, and this lady comes in, tries to calm the whole situation. Oh, babe,
No, she shouldn't
I'm here
come
for-
in.
She shouldn't at all.
No,
That's why I like
think
that
there's-
she
there's
rather
any need for a
invited
reconciliation.
him in,
Yeah.
not her go. Because
Yeah.
if she goes, the truth is anything can happen.
Yeah.
He could make a plan. You know what? I'm unaliving myself and I'm unaliving her and the children.
The
We
children
are all
going. People do that.
That can happen.
People do
wild,
that.
man.
People
And
do
that's
that.
wild.
We should dig deep, and there should be, see, regardless of this whole thing, the lady being a separate place, she should be extremely careful,
Yeah.
with the kids, her family members, because anything can happen. And even with the dad coming out saying this lady left home at a very young age and she was with Funny Face all through, and now people are even attributing the whole thing to spirituality. Say the way the puppy they look,
They
you know,
look.
it do something to Funny Face, so they need to resolve the whole thing so he sets him free.
I haven't seen the man, but
Hey, Charlie, you see him, man.
what has he done?
Viewers, I know you know what I'm talking about. Now the West Smoke, right? If I'm getting, he has this whole fugu thing with his rasta and his demeanor, like the way he's talking. As a comfort, you know, when you visit a fetish priest, or let me say a shrine, the way they look and everything. No disrespect, but that was the look there.
So people are assuming that
There's something he'd be the man where they do Funny Face
they do Funny Face in what sense?
with the whole breakdown thing.
You can't carry in daughter without. I think there was no
Permission?
permission. Yeah.
Were they not legally married?
No,
I know. No.
From the man, he's saying that Vanessa left home very young. Then times where funny face be celebrity where the shorty go to, you go day in house. So you see say a star boy, so make we do them things and now you're accusing.
You know married a girl.
No, he didn't marry Vanessa. Like he didn't do that.
Now if he married her, they are second by now, dear.
And they are career way. That's what I'm saying. They should be safe about this whole thing. But all we need now, just to know, or let's see a printed DNA proving that okay, Ella and Bella are not their kids. So, Charlie, we have a lot of things to discuss. We have Black Sharif in the news. We're talking about online streaming platforms. Is it a way of determining that Charlie, these creatives are really creating good music? Does it give them that commercial appeal and all that? So let's go for a turn. When we come back, we delve into the second phase of the program.
You can't get caught in the middle of this.
Can't pretend to be normal.
I don't want you to be normal. I want you to be alive.
This is our...
You kill him, and you kill me. Don't you get that, Dad?
Our sons are trained to be soldiers. Our daughters to be leaders.
You remember me? Call me Gerard, but I prefer Grandpa. Everything's gonna be okay. You can't just go around turning people into werewolves.
I can if they're willing.
You're not my type.
I'm exactly your type.
Lydia's turning. She's not the one that's gonna need help.
Lydia?
What do you think she's gonna do with a set of real claws?
You're with me now.
Look, I've got my own agenda. Your kind, I can help. This is something different. It's like us?
A shapeshifter, yes, but it's like a abomination.
You saying you know who it is?
No, but I think it knew me.
Killing may be its only purpose.
You're not from here, are you? I came looking for the Alpha.
Look at them. You see what they do? The only way to fight them is together. What is this? What are they doing? Declaring war.
We have a code.
Not when they murder my daughter.
Don't you feel what's happening? It's like battle lines are being drawn.
If I'm with you, I lose her.
You're gonna lose her anyway.
From now on, these things are just bodies waiting to be cut in half. We find them. We kill them. We kill them all.
Teen Wolf, showing every Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. and a repeat at 3 p.m. only on Shobiz TV.
Alright, so welcome back. The conversation still continues right here on Shobiz TV, the Shobiz Chat. Every Thursday we come your way with great conversations. As stated, anytime I have Coffee Black and Nakia right here, you know how we do it. It gets heated, right? We'll give you two contents. We'll go in the last one. So right here it says, does a chat or commercial success reflect true music quality? Does chat or commercial success reflect true music quality? So Black Sharif, it says, my success lets me experiment. So multiple award-winning rapper and singer-songwriter Black Sharif has indicated that as his streaming numbers grow, so does his ability to experiment with his musical creativity and surprise his audience with each new release. So Sharif made this comment in response to being recognized as the most streamed artist in Ghana for 2 consecutive years during an interview with Capital One Extra in London. So Boomplay recently announced that Black Sharif has achieved a remarkable milestone of 1 billion streams on their platform. Those are part of the reasons why I really want to make music and see how far it gets. It makes me want to do more, the Hip Life artist remarked. Known as a music innovator by Rolling Stone, he added that the awareness of countless listeners enjoying his music worldwide gives me a lot of freedom. There was nobody policing the music I'm doing, and I love freedom with art. I love to do whatever I want in the studio and see what it does for me, noted the Ghanaian star rapper and singer-songwriter. So before a song comes out, Sharif intimidated, I need to love it. His upcoming second album is titled Iron Boy, a nod to his childhood days when he listened to hip life icons like Amachi Dede and so on. Following the release of his latest solo track, Kilos Milos, in June 2024, Sharif has also celebrated subsequent chart-topping successes with 2 collaborations, that's Lomo Lomo featuring Empire Africans Kiddy and Jesus Christ 2 with rising star Ara the J. So talking about artists, topping charts and all that, do you think it can measure their quality of music? Does it really measure their quality of music? Kofi, let me start with you.
The simple answer is no. I don't think. Topping charts there's no real correlation with topping charts and the quality of music. You have to be able to define what quality music is. You understand? Because I do think that music a lot of times is a vibe. It's a language by itself, so in a lot of instances what you might find appealing may not be what the other person will find appealing. It's not like football where you can say that this person has scored 2 goals, so this person is a better player than this other person. Music is really left to people to judge it however they want to judge it. So even when it comes to defining the quality of music, it becomes a very dicey topic to get into, because someone might say the quality of music should be the lyrics that is in the music. Someone might say the melody is supposed to be correct. Someone might say the mixing is supposed to be correct. Someone might say the balancing of the other instruments in the music. Someone might say clarity. There is a lot of elements. There's a lot of indicators for a lot of people what they would call quality music. I'm sure when you go to the people who do the opera music and all of these things, they might also look to some other things. But when it comes to popular music, when it comes to commercial music, you understand the conversation gets a little bit elevated. For a lot of people, they you are doing the music for commercial success. Okay. You understand? So once it gets that commercial success, a lot of people will assume that type of music, it means that it is actually the music that resonates with the people. You understand? So for me, when it comes to the simple answer really is that quality music and then topping charts, I do think that they are 2 different things altogether. You can't have an argument, can't have a debate about some of these things, but really music is not something, it's not a science. You understand? There's a bit of science in it, but it's not a science like the empirical aspect of it is very, like I said, football, you score goal, score goal. It's not like that. You can't really there are certain things that you cannot really say for a fact. This is that. You understand? It is really about what people think and how people feel about it and all of these things. So the simple answer really is no.
Right. We find ourselves, or let me say, we're in a country where we have people who really understand music. They are lyricists. The Kofi has been using that term a lot. They break down music. They know the quality of music. But talking about this age or era where streaming is taking all over, people are topping chat and all that. How do we define or let me say get to know this is really good music, this is a quality music produced?
I mean, just as he said, you can't determine the quality of music through a streaming, because it may come off as a quality song for me but not for you,
for the other person,
probably because it's not number 1 on their chart. I'm going to give Familia's new song as an example. I love that song, in as much as I'm not the type that will go for the typical Ghana vibe, but I love that song. And it is a quality song for me, and it's also climbing bit by bit for me. And I'm saying it's climbing. Maybe it's not going to the major, but in Ghana, it's doing relatively well. Now, for an artist like Famie, if this song is doing this good, then it means he could, do better.
Okay.
He could go up and do better. So I keep repeating the same thing when it comes to the technicalities of music. I believe in content more than hype.
Okay.
Because somebody may have all the hype, but we're born like we're in a dang and fat. And fat. But someone with a little hype, but major talent, it could take you 10 years, but when you reach your peak, you've gotten there. Ara the J, I heard he has been in the background for a long time. He covered his face at some point. He didn't want anybody to see his face. Yeah, he's singing quality song. He has good lyrics, calm, demure. When you listen to Ara's songs, it puts you in a place. Like his songs before the one with Black Sharif that did the thing for him. But you see, he was in the background somewhere. Even though he was doing good songs, he was doing songs that people would, relate with and everything. And then it took Black Sharif, and then he's gone. Now it's his time to prove to the people that he has quality songs. I believe artists that are coming up should push. I like that Black Sharif said now he's experimenting, because you know what? He has given us the bangers. He has given us the songs that, when you sit down and you listen, Black Sharif has done well. When he touched Wuto to see how the song did, he has a way of making
given a few
songs. So I like what he is doing, Black Sharif is doing. He gives you what you want. You like him. Now he's giving you what he wants.
Good to go.
And I like it.
Yeah. During when I was reading the context or what we're referring to, there was a line where he made mention that he likes the fact that the style of music he's doing, there's nobody policing the whole thing. And I think it's one thing that is limiting a lot of artists. When someone says, okay, I'm doing hip life, I'm doing high life, they are going strictly, it looks like they want to get the whole thing really done right without trying to add their own spice or twist to it to make it theirs. Because as we're talking, Black Sharif is extremely different.
Yeah, versatile.
You mentioned anytime he touches a song or he's featured, he brings a different vibe and spirit to the whole thing. So don't you think our creatives here, or let me say our musicians, sometimes really limit themselves because they want to live to expectations like, okay, this is what I'm doing, instead of trying to discover who they actually are?
I do think that most of our creative are actually not creative enough. Yeah, I do think that is where the problem is. And I do think that the system here, it forces everyone to do the same thing. I always say this. There isn't enough reward for trying to do something different. When you try to do something different, very soon you see that they'll try to shut you down. They try to get you to do what everyone else wants you to do. Black Sharif, out the gates, he was different. I don't think I don't even understand when he's saying that the bangers actually have now given him a room to experiment. I do think Black Sharif's music has been experimented. Because the first sermon, second sermon, I've not even heard the title of a song like that in Ghana before. How he came out with the machetes and all of these things. It wasn't really
singing out
something that has been done in this scene before, and he has been able to keep it up. And the fact that he's doing this thing that is, I don't know, this Drake type of thing, melody rap type of thing that he's doing with the local language, mixing it with a pidgin, and Black Sharif can do a whole pidgin or English song and it still doesn't feel foreign in your ear. When, let's say, a Trigmatic or a Manifest does a bless song, it sounds like, hey, Charlie, Black Sharif can do a full verse in English and it doesn't feel foreign in your ears. You understand? So that is a certain level of mastery that he has been able to achieve with what he's doing. So for me, to begin with, I don't even think that Black Sharif is now trying to experiment anything. I do think that right now, what is really taken out of the question is, the pressure to actually make something happen. Now he has already gotten the hits. No one can come and he it's like, I know what actually works. You understand? I didn't follow what everyone was doing and I was able to get the hits. So now you can leave my back. I know how to make this thing work. I do think that what is gone out of the whole question is the pressure that people will give you, especially when you're an upcoming artist. So maybe you're signed to a label, you are with whoever, and then they are telling you, this is that you are doing, you know they work. You for change them. You do you know they work. So you see the Paluters and the Amarados who were doing a lot of rap, and then suddenly they switch up and they are doing their singing thing and it picks up. You understand? So what happens is usually for a lot of artists, what they say is that you have to sell out to sell. You understand? The average audience of music is there's a word that they use for it, actually just schemes through the music. If you listen to, I think, Eminem and Jay-Z on Renegade, you understand? I said, do you just skim through the music or do you listen to it? You understand? And I do think that musicians, rappers, whoever, they do realize that there are various niches when it comes to the audience. There's the audience who want to hear everything that you are saying. There's the audience who just want to vibe. And I do think that the audience who just want to vibe are the majority. A lot of people, I'm not trying to come and sit down and dissect your lyrics and do all this oxymorons and all of it. No. A lot of people are not trying to do that. It's only the music purists who are trying to go into the details of it. So it's those people that you drop the album for. Those people that, you know, you drop, you know, a full body of work for. But for a lot of people, when it comes to hit songs, they try to give it for the audience who just run away with it. So I do think that Black Sherif has been able to put himself in a position actually to be able to, even though I see his music as an experimental music, he has put himself in a place where he can even experiment more. He is getting the numbers, he is getting the accolades. We have mentioned how much he is able to change the vibe of a song. You know, I do think that I've been hearing Odumodu Blood for a period of time, but I do think that the feature with Black Sherif, at a point that song was like on repeat for me. You understand? And it's a beautiful thing. And one thing I also want to hit on really is that, you know, there is an impression that the type of music that is a vibe music cannot be quality music. I used to be of that notion too, but I do not think that way anymore. I do think that there is always a place for every type of music. There is a time that you enjoy a Drake music. There's a time that you enjoy a Kwabna music. There's a time that you enjoy a Kojo Entry music. A time you enjoy a Jay-Z type of song. There's a time you enjoy a Shatawale type of song. There is a vibe and, you know, a time for really everything when it comes to the type of music that you want to listen to. So we shouldn't just limit ourselves to music that quote unquote sounds sensible. Sometimes people just want to vibe. You understand? But in that vibe music, the texture of the music, the balance in the instruments, the clarity of the whole thing that is coming, that is what that should be the quality aspect of it when it comes to just the vibe music. So when you're talking about music that is actually, maybe you're doing a song about Galamsey, then you cannot hide behind the instruments and just be singing gibberish. We have to hear what you are saying. So for a song like that, then we have to hear your lyrics. Do you understand? So for every type of song, you have different indicators of what quality music is. Now we also have to go into quality does not guarantee success. You understand? The fact that you think you are doing quality music does not guarantee that people are going to vibe to it. Because at the end of the day, you are selling something. You understand? If we say we won't buy water, pure water, where they sell Vortic give we say we don't get money by Vortic. You understand? You are going to lose on that end. So people should, especially when you want to go into that part of music, you say you want to do your music to be that, you know, have that je ne sais quoi, you know, that kind of, you know, that you trying to do the bougie type of music. Then you know say your audience, you don't really hear like that. So you know how to target it. But when you do your quality music, I do think that the next important thing will be how to be able to market it to get it to a certain level of success. Really, that is really it for me.
You know, I was even focusing more of, you know, the cash. It's very necessary. Sometimes you need to go on these streaming platforms or monitor so that you know, say, something they enter my bank account. So at what point would you say artists should be able to prioritize, you know, making quality music as compared to, you know, doing this whole top and chat music thing?
Realistically, if you're a good artist, I think that from bats you should be able to make something of your music.
Okay.
But because of the systems that we have here, our systems are not working. So as an up and coming artist, that is a good one. You need to struggle. That's why there's this notion, my brain too so brave. Even the ones that have already made it are not going to show you the way. Because again, the notion, my brain also brave. It is unfortunate. But now you need to put it in your head that because you're doing music in Ghana and then there are no systems in place to benefit you as an artist, because even the old people are collecting 500 cedis for songs that they have done. Yes, you need to put it in your head that you, for the first probably 5 years, you are putting investment. You are investing. You will hope and pray that everybody believes that you are talented as you are. Else, because I know a lot of people that they've tried doing music. They've put a lot of money into doing music. Even when I was in school, in university, there's this one particular guy. This guy keeps releasing, and you don't see, you know, the numbers growing. It's exhausting. So realistically, again, it should be from bats. But because our systems are not in place, you need to give yourself time. This one, you maybe have to make a plan. In the next 3 years, I need to blow. Then you put the energy, and it may or may not happen. So it's not setting down here. I'm far. No,
but you know, it brings me to the question of you know, Gamro music and all that. I think today, that was this one, D Black. He made mention that if he had the chance, or he happens
the reforming of Gamro. I said this was the wrong time to have that conversation.
Good. The whole point is, now let's even focus on these musicians, right? I know we have some of them who are registered out there, you know, with a streaming platform where they get to know how much they are getting and all that. Do you think from the get-go, as an artist, you should have in mind this public appeal to your music, so that when it transcends or it travels out there, you too go feel registered there, say, oh, my music's come out.
I don't think you need numbers to be able to register. You don't need numbers to be able to register. I do think that the first thing you should actually think about before you start putting out songs on a commercial level is actually to register with some of these rights associations. You understand? I think the ASCAPs are there and all of these things, and they collect your monies for you. So before the music even comes out, you know, you are already on some of these platforms that you can get your money from. But obviously, in the lifespan of an artist, you want to make money, especially if you are looking at it to be, you know, your something that's going to give you a daily bread. It has to make money. You cannot do the music just for, you know, your two friends and your mother and your father, and then, you know, it ends it there. You have to be able to get the numbers, and the numbers translate into money, because to a certain level too, you are also expecting people to invest some money into your craft. You understand? The thing about music is that you actually believe how good you are. You understand? But you need to be able to have people who will actually believe in that goodness. So a lot of people also feel like, okay, if you believe you are this good, why are you not putting your own money into it? Why are you not putting your own resources into it to blow yourself up? I do think that a lot of the time, some of these things actually stifle the artist from being just the creative. Especially in our system, in our ecosystem, people talk about people being independent artists. I do think that the Ghanaian system is full of independent artists. You understand? I remember when people like Chance the Rapper came out, people like is it Macklemore, all of these people come out and they tell us they're independent artists, and everyone out there, it seems like an exciting thing. Here, that is the norm. Everyone being own manager, do they say they get manager, everybody be own record label. Who so I got the own record label, Beam Nation own record label, Shatawale own record label.
So technically all
our artists are literally a one-man show.
Yeah.
You understand? So our system really makes it very difficult for the artist to be just an artist. The artist is literally, you know, a business owner at this point in time, and he's also thinking about all the business moves, all the strategies, and that also to a certain extent stifles the level of creativity. So the time you have to sit in the studio the whole day, think. I mean, out there, people are doing your paperwork, people are doing your accounting for you, people are doing your financials for you, your taxes, people are doing all of these things for you. So you are only just looking at the creative aspect of it. And I do think that some of these things stifles the level of creativity that people can actually put into their art. But I also would like to state that, you know, people usually assume that chart-topping music is usually not quality music. I do think that it is possible to have a music that is both chart-topping and also be quality. I don't think that they should be, is it mutually exclusive? I don't think that they should be in that way. You should always make it a disjoint. I do think that it is possible to have music that resonates on the level of quality and also resonates on the level of how it touches people. You mention Familia. Familia is a good example of you know, people whose music is a good lyricist. Kofi Kinata, a very good example of that. You understand? So we shouldn't always try to create a what do I say, a disjoint really out of the fact that people chat is like there's a group of chat open artists and there's also a group of people who have quality music. No, it's not always that way. Sometimes it can match. Sometimes the quality music is the music that actually does top the charts really.
That's where I'll ask a question. If they want to say that most of the songs that are topping the charts are not sensible or quality music,
so we know
what about the gospel songs that make the charts?
That's a big question. That's a big question.
Very deep one in there. So now let's go straight and activate the phone line. So our call line is 030-272-9823. 030-272-9823. And our WhatsApp lines are also active in case you want to send in a message. You don't want me to hear your voice. That one today. That's 0503951006. The call line is right down the screen. 030-272-29823. Calling now, let me know what you think about, and please remember, anytime you call us, lower the volume on your TV set so that you can hear me clearly. We talk on phone rather than you listening or responding to the feedback you get on the TV. So right about now, we've activated the phone lines. Calling, let us know what you think about our conversation this evening. I know you have one or two things to add up to the whole thing. So it doesn't mean you go feed do rubbish. We still the music good. Top the chart.
Still do sensible music. If you do sensible music to way still go top the chart. I don't think they are you know a disjoint really. I do think that you can merge both of it together. You understand? Just that it does appear that a lot of the so-called rubbish music is what you know does get on the charts a lot more. I do think that because sometimes people are just trying to ease themselves through a lot of things. You know, people are not trying to. If you go school, you go learn your calculus. You know, one can't stay they listen music, then they can't learn some other things. You understand? So I do think that people like to go very much easy when it comes to the music aspect of things and the art aspect of things. So that is why sometimes it does appear that you know the so-called rubbish music you know does lead in the charts. But you have artists like Bob Marley who never did rubbish music. You have people like Michael Jackson never did rubbish music. I mean, there are so many artists. I do think the greatest artists who are put on a pedestal, they are always the ones who don't do the rubbish music that we call.
What are we even going to say is rubbish music?
That is the big question.
We explained the quality. Kofi, you mentioned the sound, the texture of the music, the lyrics that goes in there. They all add up to.
So this is the thing. I also feel like some of these conversations can be relative. What is quality to you may be senseless to me, and what is senseless to me may be quality to you.
But we also have a certain level of objectivity. Where you have an artist like Bob Marley. I don't think anyone in his right senses will call any Bob Marley song a rubbish song. I don't think anyone would do that. People like Michael Jackson. So I do think that when it comes to legacy bits of music, I do think that artists who are portrayed as people with a certain level of substance, they are the ones that last longer because they have something to talk about. Artists that usually stand for a cause. So you have people like the Kendrick Lamars and all of these people who seem to be standing for a cause, black empowerment, all of these things. People are able to follow them over a period of time, as opposed to a Lil Pump who comes and then one hit, 2 hits, and the person is gone. So I do think that the artists who have a certain level of substance to them actually have a better chance. At least looking at history, looking at what we have at our disposal, it looks like they have a better chance of having a longer career than those who just come out a gate and it seems like they are saying rubbish. Yeah.
Okay. Now talking about how success can be measured beyond numbers and chat, how can we measure this whole thing? Looking at this conversation we're having.
Success can be measured beyond charts. I mean, we've spoken about the quality of the music. We've also spoken. We come from a cultural background. We live in a society where we give everything to traditions and culture. So an artist who has a stable home can be seen as someone with a quality brand or a quality career. That is one thing I could personally turn towards artists being having quality added to their portfolios. So yeah, I'll just add the family bits. I also add the bits where you understand the people that you're doing music for, and so you go towards places where what you do makes them happy, whether you are behind the microphone or off the microphone. So basically, even as a celebrity or someone in front of the camera all the time, your aura, your presence, the things you do can come off as quality, bargain it close to what exactly you do. So I think your life at itself has to look a certain way for you to be called a quality artist, a proper artist, one that is seen as a perfect, career or, I mean, that's what I think.
Kofi.
So.
Yeah, I mean, per the question you've asked, I do think that it is important to always view music from various lenses or spectrums. I do think that not every music is supposed to be related to in a certain way. For example, there's music that have commercial value. There's music that have probably a social value. You understand? I do think that there are various values in different types of music that people bring out. So to be able to measure the success of music, it should really be about what the artist really is trying to achieve. Like I mentioned the Galamsey issue. So if you are trying to do a song, let's say about social cause, I don't think your interest is to make the most numbers from that particular song. Your interest really would be to be able to get the message across, to spark a conversation, cause a certain level of a change. You understand? So that becomes a social value for that music. So that music, the success of that music is not going to be measured by how many streams it's getting. It's going to be measured by the impact on the society. When you're looking at the commercial value, then now you're looking at the number of streams that the person is actually making. You're looking at who is listening. Is Kim Kardashian posting that song? That will be the commercial value. I do think there's also a certain level of aesthetic value also. So if you're looking at doing music for people who are going out to club, then you are also okay, is this a danceable song? Is this not a danceable song? So I do think that it depends on what the artist is really trying to achieve in a particular point in time. That would actually determine what you define as success when it comes to the music that they are dropping. But really, and the space and the ecosystem which we are living in right now, it does appear like the commercial value of music is what everybody trumpets the most. So it's like when you are not getting getting on the charts, when you are not doing some of these things, then it looks like you are falling back. But I do think that music is not only straight jacketed, it's not only for commercial purposes. There are other types of ways to be able to get your music, you know, to actually do the things it's supposed to do. So really, that is what I do think about the particular question you asked. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I think it's been a beautiful evening where we're talking about DNA, now topping charts and all that. One way or the other, it really affects these acts when they are not seeing their music topping the charts. They get to question themselves. Hey, Charlie, am I doing the right thing? What is happening? Then, you know, that's where the switch comes in. Then now they start losing their identity as who they are, or, you know, the style that they think what makes them stronger.
I also think that it's something that happens to every human being, whether you are in the spotlight or not. When you're, you know, dealing with life and it's not going how you want it to go, you always feel like either I'm a failure or I need to look at something else. Yeah, so I think it's just a human thing. If as you're sitting here, you think your numbers are not going up as a creator, as an actor, as a journalist, you'd always think of another way to get things done, to get your numbers right, to make sure that everything that you're doing is right. So
That is if what you are trying to achieve is numbers.
Yeah.
Someone might be trying to achieve impact. Someone might be trying to achieve awards. So if you are getting the awards, you are not getting the numbers. You understand?
You feel
might
like
look
you're
at
not
it.
working.
It's not working.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
You are misunderstanding. What I'm saying is that, like, per what you said, I'm saying if you are trying to look at the numbers, you understand, then for you that will be the measure of your success.
Yes.
But for someone, the measure of the person's success might be awards. The measure of the person's success might be a certain level of impact, certain rooms that the person is invited to. Some people don't have the most numbers, but they're invited into certain rooms where they can have conversations that will make certain changes. I don't think the GJA president has the most numbers on social media or even in media spaces. So in that stead, or in that instance, you are not looking at the numbers that the person can make. You are looking at the impact that the person can actually bring towards things. So that's why I did mention earlier on that it really does depend on what a person is trying to achieve. If it's the commercial level, there's a place for that. If there is the impact level, there is a place for that. There are various branches to you know, a lot of art forms, like you guys have mentioned. There's various branches to it. For me, it's not always about the numbers bit of it. There may be, I know our society these days is very much, you know, in love with numbers and the commerciality of things, you understand?
Very true.
But for me, there is a lot more around things than just, you know, how immediate. Some things even take a lot of time to pick up, and when they pick up, you know, it really goes that I think it's really important to be able to get a certain level of, especially at the rooms, when you're getting into the right rooms, that is the place to actually make changes and really make things happen. Yeah.
All right, Nanika, your closing words.
I mean, I'll go back to the Galamsey and I'll go back to the demonstration. Please, even if you can't come, I mean, do the hashtag say no to Galamsey, do the hashtag free the citizens, do the hashtags that will promote the growth of, you know, Ghana. This is not a partisan thing. This is youth of Ghana coming out to say that we are tired, we're not getting what we deserve, or, you know, the country is not going how it should go to help us build the lives that we want to build for ourselves. That is where the conversation is channeling to the best of my knowledge. Whether partisan or not, I am not there. I am not interested in that. What I'm interested in is the growth of the country and the people in it. And so do your part. Even if you can't be on the ground, please post the hashtags or add the hashtags to your post on your WhatsApp, on your Snapchat, on your Instagram, wherever it is. Join us. Let's ask for the right things. The emphasis is on the right things. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, I do believe that it is important that, you know, people who want to do music understand what they are really trying to achieve with it. I do think that people should be very confident in the art that they are trying to put across. I think that art, first of all, is supposed to be raw. It's supposed to be what easily comes to you. And then when you birth it, people can relate with it, how they want to relate to it. I would like to say that, you know, people should not be too much interested. Me, I'm a purist. I'm a music purist. I believe that, you know, the music is always going to find its people. You understand? People like Kweku Smoke, who have been doing this rap thing over a period of time, recently is when people are actually beginning to give them a listen. I do think that if you stick to your guns, if you stick to what you are trying to do, at the end of the day, you are really going to find your tribe. I do understand that things hard. You for make money from what you did do, but in a lot of instances, you know, sometimes the success does not come immediately. So for me, I like to take it on this bit that people should always strive to measure their success not by just the commercial value. I do think that there are a lot of other values. Some can even be just creative value. People like One Love the Kobolo, who don't have the biggest songs, I think they are some of the most inspiring artists in the scene. If you talk to a lot of, especially the guys who are doing the pigeon rap, that thing is from NFL One Love Kobolo. You understand? They were the people who made it a thing. People may not know, but before them, there weren't people who were doing the pigeon rap like that. NFL, then we have One Love and Mensa and all of these people. So I do think that it's not always that you're gonna get a bigger song, but you can also be the person that inspires the next generation of artists. And it's also a very important aspect of, you know, art in general. So I'm an art purist. I like people to actually give us the rawest form of their art, and I do think that they are always going to find their niche.
All right, so thank you so much for having you as always. Yay, the lady is going to protest tomorrow. Be safe wherever you find yourself. So it's been a beautiful evening right here. Coffee Black and Naneke always sharing the 2 cents and issues and topics we discuss on the show. And to you viewers at home, really appreciate you always doing the viewing, sharing in your comment, makes us know that yes, we are on the right track. Shout outs going out to my executive producers, my producers right